Hello and a very good evening to you all in Europe. Lindsay Davenport against Martina Hingis. We're going to show you a little pre-show ahead of the final. Lindsay Davenport has won the 4 meetings against Martina. The last time they played the Australian Open final, Lindsay was 6-1, 5-1, playing great. She really gave Martina very few chances. Was there any reason for that, she was asked? Martina also had something to say. But first, we hear from Lindsay.
In Australia, the court was extremely fast, and she didn't have a lot of time to set up for the ball.
I mean, I saw that in Australia when I played Lindsay. Even, you know, she was up 6-1, 5-1. She got tired there a little bit, so I had a chance to come back, and I just tried to hold my serve. That's all I can do. I mean, in the beginning, and then just come in when I have the chance.
Well, to hold her serve, she says, that's the main thing for her in the beginning of the match today. Lindsay knows that this shot is Martina's only real weakness. She knows she has to take advantage of that.
Well, that's been a huge thing the last 4 times we've played is that it's been really funny. She hasn't gone for her first serve, and it's given me an opportunity on the first ball to go for it. And her second serve is obviously a major factor that I've been able to overpower, is to set the rally up with that. So I think, you know, it's tough if she goes for a serve and she misses it. She's giving me a second serve, but I think that she probably needs to serve better than she has the past few matches against me.
I can pick up the pace, and once they just don't, I can kind of see those balls. I have like the feeling of the court. I think I have a better one than most of the players. Otherwise, I couldn't be at the top. So, gotta have something.
Here's some shots of the doubles match, the semi-final. Hingis, Pearce, Davenport, Murario. Davenport, Murario won. So is that a psychological advantage?
You know, on the computer, I'm 2, and, you know, hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe I'll gain some points and overtake her.
There's people always looking for rivalries and like big stories, 1 against 1. And I mean, with Lindsay, I always felt like that she was the one player, the most consistent, and who had this ability to be at the top for a longer time.
So here they were returning from that doubles match. Good friends, of course. Who will it be tonight? Well, again, a very good evening to you in Europe from just after 12 noon here in California, live for this final. She's won the last 4. Robert Van Hoff, the coach, must be pleased. How does he see this one?
Prediction for tomorrow?
I think it'll be close. I think, you know, like you said, Lindsay's won pretty easily the last couple of times. I think Martina will come up with some new things and come to net and try and throw Lindsay off a little bit. So I think it'll be pretty close. So we'll see. But I'll take Davenport.
So, Martina Hingis, semi-final against Mary Pearce. What a start for Mary Pearce. 3-love up, 12 points to 1. And she ended up winning only 2 more games. Extraordinary. So, sitting alongside me, Chris Bradnam, Joe Jury, for this one. We're very excited about this one, Joe, and I think for Martina, having really had the rough end of the stick against Lindsay the last 4 times, as we'll just let those results go through of her run through to the final, Lindsay, she's got to really come out and win this match, surely, to prove to herself and the tennis world that she is the #1 in the world.
Yeah, I think this is a huge match for Martina Hingis, really, you know, ranked 1, but everybody kind of thinks Lindsay Davenport should be 1 at the moment, but Martina has just squeezed ahead with the points because it's done on a year-round basis. But, you know, Hingis hates playing these hard-hitting players, especially Davenport and also the Williams sisters. A big problem that she's had. She's got to serve better. I don't think she can just suddenly today go out and serve better. You know, you have to work on that over a period of months. But yesterday when she was playing Mary Pearce, I think that she was waiting for Mary Pearce to kind of run out of steam in the match, which she did do. But against Davenport, there's no way that's going to happen. So she's got to try and do something different, and I think she's got to try and be a bit more aggressive at the beginning of the match, because she said in an interview yesterday that she's a little bit defensive in the beginning, and then she tries to be more aggressive when I get the chance. But I think she has to take more chances right at the start of the match instead of just seeing how it goes.
Do you think, with regards to that she will, as we just see the confirmation of those head-to-heads, of course the last one would have been last weekend in Scottsdale, but that was rained out, so that becomes the last one there, the Australian Open. Do you think on her serve, Hingis, that she will hit 2 first serves effectively? She won't allow herself to take the pace off at all, because it's better to serve double faults than have Davenport dominate? Or will she wait to see if Davenport is in that sort of form?
Well, I guess she'll probably wait a couple of service games to see how it goes. But then, if it's not working, as you say, Chris, then why not go for 2 really hard-hit serves? Because just getting the second serve in is doing absolutely nothing against someone like Davenport.
And Nasser Ulrich, the chair umpire for this match, to Steve Ulrich, who's one of the full-time umpires on the men's ATP Tour. There's a real buzz of excitement around this stadium court. So the players just about ready for this, the final of the Indian Wells Newsweek Champions Cup. A repeat of the '98 final. And Martina Hingis won 6-3, 6-4, but she's not beaten her for nearly 18 months. And the last win for Martina Hingis was in the Chase Championships, the year-end World Championships, in 4 sets in the final. And in fact, in those head-to-heads, the last 10 have been in a row in finals, and Lindsay leads 6-3 with one tied, of course, last week, as we've said, in Scottsdale. They've been in great form this week. 21 games lost, 10 sets played for Martina, 16 games lost only, and 10 sets played for Lindsay Davenport, only taken to 6-4 in 1 set, both these players. Martina on a great run of 12 consecutive matches won since the Australian Open final, including her 27th title in Tokyo. And Lindsay 15 consecutive matches since being runner-up in Sydney in January to the French lady Amélie Mauresmo, and herself tied on 27 career titles. So it couldn't be more delicately poised. Lindsay Davenport, the number 2 seed, will get us underway.
Well, she really does have a great serve, Lindsay Davenport, and she's worked on it over the last year, and she can rely on it out there. That's the nice thing for her.
Lindsay champion here in 1997, the year before she lost to Martina, beating Irina Spalea in the final, who she beat in the first match for her here, so maybe good omens. Just.
Well, that was a second serve from Davenport, and Hingis was immediately onto it, so you can see what her intentions are.
second ace, and that is unplayable. Players just switching straight round, of course, after the first game of the opening set, and I think that's a really good development. It just keeps the match going in the early stages.
Well, it is one thing that I agree with, that they've changed in tennis. A lot of others I do not agree with at all, but this has really worked, and also having a break at the end of a set, whatever the score is. Oh, that's good moving from Lindsay Davenport.
And there the fear showing of what Lindsay might do to the second serve. Can do Martina Hingis the world of good.
Well, making sure of a lot of first serves then, and also serving into Lindsay's forehand.
Not going to do any harm either, visualising that miss.
The lob was pretty difficult for Davenport because the sun is right overhead at this time of day, and difficult for her to really go for it because you couldn't see it properly. This backhand was actually left quite late and very difficult to read, so Hingis couldn't make a move either way.
It's like he gave a chess out here, that point.
Yeah, what a good shot we saw Hingis playing that forehand, creating the angle, nearly getting into trouble, but she'd worked it all out.
Molitor, mother to Martina. Keeping one eye on the match at least. Break point for the top seed. How she reacts to missed chances. I know this sounds odd, talking about Martina, but she will consider that to be a missed chance.
Yeah, I think that was a huge chance, especially this early in the match, because I don't think Davenport started particularly well, and Hingis must feel, you know, this stage, she's got a real chance to break.
I know the reason why. Quite often you get a double fault from Lindsay. On a crucial point, that is.
That's brilliant. Great rally from both of them. Hingis may be taking a few more chances than she normally does.
Yeah, I think winning a rally like that is significant, because normally Lindsay would expect to win the hard-hitting rallies. She makes those shots look so easy. 6'2.5", and making full use of her height there, but that's not easy, is it, Joe?
No, because it's slow and there's topspin on it, so you have to time it perfectly.
Lindsay's mother sitting courtside. She's hung on, tough game. Had a break point chance, Martina Hingis, but it's Lindsay Davenport who leads by 2-1 in the opening set. Welcome back. Joe, with sort of 1 and 2 rivalries, they play each other so many times, and normally in the finals, because obviously they're seeded 1 and 2, they're in the opposite halves of the draw. How important is the last match?
Well, I think pretty important for the one who won it, because they're feeling confident, but as Hingis has been on the losing end for the last 4, I think it must have hit home to her that she has to do something different, otherwise she's just going to keep losing to Davenport, because Davenport is consistently good now.
Just wisely checking the throw up on the serve. That's been the problem end during the week.
She almost looks lazy on some of the shots, but it's only because, you know, Davenport's got such great timing. She hasn't got to put as much effort in as, say, Serena Williams. And there we are. No effort at all, just moving a couple of steps in, timing it right in the middle of that racket.
It just changes the complexion in the next rally, doesn't it, when a serve is blitzed away like that? It must leave a scar.
Big shot. Don't see Lindsay missing many of those.
Just looks totally relaxed out here, Lindsay. Thoroughly enjoying it, you feel. Three in the game that's clipped the top of the net. It's a better start than in the Australian Open final.
It's interesting because Hingis was asked yesterday in the interviews, you know, these bigger, taller, stronger girls, when you play against them, you know, what do you feel? And she said, I might be smaller, but I'm quicker.
She's always got a positive comeback, hasn't she? And not surprisingly, I mean, Serena is the only other girl on the tour that's got even close to getting a head-to-head advantage. I mean, they're tied at 3-all. Steffi had a winning advantage, but she's now retired, of course. So Lindsay is the only one that has beaten her more times than she's lost. Martina not so short. It's her fourth ace, and three of them in exactly that position.
Very good power play now from Davenport. Very, very hot out there today, 95 degrees, and I'm wondering if Hingis has to do a lot of running.
Just proving me wrong, as well as Martina. Martina was taking the racket back for a forehand there, but the fifth ace going the other way. So smart thinking as well. 3-2 first set. We'll be back. If you were with us on Eurosport to watch the Australian Open and you saw this final between these two players, you'd see how many interesting talk points there are in this match already. Martina trying to improve a serve. Using Joe a lot more width on her ground strokes to get the ball to kick up more at Lindsay.
Yeah, this court is definitely slower than the one in Australia, so it does give Hingis a bit more time.
She's not liking it, is she?
Yeah, I mean, totally the right shot, right place to play it. And you can see Lindsay does struggle to run forward. Very well disguised.
It was almost lazy, wasn't it? First love game of the match. 3-all first set. She took that very early, didn't she? As we said, Joe, her game plan is so clear.
Yeah, lovely timing. And yesterday after the match, Mary Pierce said she thought that Hingis' forehand had really improved. Seen quite a few winners off it.
Serve is on the line. It's a really good get from Martina, but then huge torpedo forehand.
No, it wasn't a bad shot, but this shot was really whacked hard.
From 2 miles per hour, the speed gun showing there. So both ladies serving well. There's only been one break point in the match so far. That was for Martina Hingis. But Lindsay Davenport takes the lead by 4 games to 3. Welcome back to the buzz. This amazing stadium course, 16,700. And Joe and I have had a good look around. We've seen that many seats. It looks pretty full.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'd like to be sitting right at the top. I've got to have a good head for height sitting up there.
Information of that winning streak, the American. She won't worry about any of that. She's just going to be thinking about the first point of this next game. New balls, Martina serving 3-4. More trouble off the backhand, Martina, because she's hitting it a bit flatter. It's coming through at that nice height for Lindsay.
She knows. Bad miss for her. And it was a good serve. I mean, it was right on the service line. I think any sort of slight opportunities are so big for either of these players.
It's so difficult to erase some of the things from the last match, though, because it'd be easy for Lindsay here to compare the way she's returning at the moment compared to the last match, where she was awesome. I saw that just in. I know the crowd didn't think so, but that's not unusual. They're an American crowd in America.
No, that ball was good. Also a Californian crowd, and Lindsay's from California. Makes for good atmosphere, though.
Sure how she lost that point. Should have won it.
Well, it seemed to have everything covered there, Lindsay. And look how far out of court Hingis is. She just left the volley a bit late and then didn't seem to move at all for that one.
Oh, what a volley! I wasn't sure she was going to go for it at first.
No, because she didn't actually make a move. She just put out her arm and her hand, and I think Hingis had a bit of a look there. She thought she'd made the pass.
6'2.5" of reach. Hooked up topspin forehand again, produces the error. Robert Van Hoff sitting courtside, Lindsay's coach. Second double. The second break point opportunity for Martina. And the good thing is for her this time, there's two in a row. Well, that is just sensational. Lindsay took one step back to that and knew there was no chance running it down. The first break, 5-4 for Hingis. Just in time to see Martina Hingis with that break serving to take the opening set. She's lost their last 4 matches in straight sets. I've said it before, Joe, but how you react to missing shots is the making of any player. Lindsay's just looking a little bit negative. Left.
But I think in a way it's tough for Lindsay because she has high expectations because of the way she's been playing the last few months, really since last October. She kind of expects herself to play well, and when it doesn't quite happen, it can be very frustrating. Ooh, what a miss. She moved up well to it. I think she knew what she wanted to do.
clever.
Really working the court, using that spin again. It's bouncing, and it's bouncing up high. Davenport's having problems.
That's been the key in the first set. The number of missed returns from Lindsay. And it sees Martina Hingis a chance to take the opening set. First set she's won. This is the last time she beat Lindsay. The back end of 1998 at the Chase Champs. Martina Hingis, 6-4. She leads. First point, first game, second set. Exactly what she's got to do. She's got to pick the momentum up.
Well, Martina Hingis has used the lob so well today to get her out of very tricky situations.
Forced error count really is climbing rapidly for Lindsay.
Yes, two in a row there. Not quite firing on all cylinders today.
Chance to get the early initiative in the second set.
It's a shot she uses wonderfully well, Davenport. She just flicks her wrists on those backhands and creates beautiful angles. Well, who's trying to outbluff who here? Hingis nearly making the right play.
Just wide. She looks hot, if you know what I mean. She's starting to wipe the sweat away with her shirt, and she's walking heavy. It looks like these hot conditions you mentioned earlier, Joe, 95 degrees, it looks as though it's starting to take their toll. This really is some encounter.
Yeah, I know what you mean. This sort of hot and bothered look from Davenport, and she hasn't been doing as much running as Hingis. Hingis looks really kind of sprightly and springy out there. She looks like she's got a very good attitude. She's obviously won the first set, so she's feeling good. But I just feel that, you know, Lindsay's not quite flowing as we have seen in the past few months.
It's almost like Martina is using the 4 losses against her to motivate herself, say, this is what I'm going to do to get the win, whereas Lindsay's sort of, can I reproduce what I did in Australia? Everybody expecting the call again. Yeah, Martina just having a little look-see. Look towards her coach sitting courtside. It's just a slight area of concern. I mean, it was a look, Joe, wasn't it, that almost was saying, oh, but help, my returns aren't working like they're supposed to.
I saw her look like that in the final of Sydney. She looked a couple of times to Robert Van Hoff, and I know she was playing kind of like this then. Afterwards, they went straight onto the practice court.
Overall from Anna Serulik in the chair, that'll not please the crowd, but it was a correct overall. The ball's clearly long. One game all second set. And Joe, we've been, as we see Martina's mum Melanie there, Lindsay just having a little chat, but I think nothing more than just to clear the air in her own mind about these close balls. But we've argued about the unforced error count all week. We felt it's been harsh all week, but I think 20, as indicated there for Lindsay, that's 5 games worth, is a fair reflection this time.
No, I think very fair, yes. I mean, Hingis has been clever about the way she's played the top spin, kept the high bouncing, and Davenport hasn't quite got it right, but they are unforced errors because, you know, she wasn't under that much pressure at the time.
I'm arguing with that one. 7th ace.
Yes, you said, Chris, sometimes it's quite good to have a little argument with the umpire just to get a few things off your chest and think of something different. I think that was a very clever shot from Hingis. She took the pace off the ball, made it a very awkward volley for Davenport. That was strange all round. Hingis leaving it very late to come in, then she slipped, but made it.
Ooh, could have been nasty. That is nasty. Further chances. Second game in a row had break points.
Oh, good reply from Lindsay Davenport, but strange, isn't it? We thought that it's the Hingis serve that was going to be the problem, not the Davenport.
These are all huge, huge points for Lindsay. She's definitely up against it, and she really is scrapping for her life here.
Well, she's hanging in.
Oh, she read it so well and made it.
It's all very well reading it. This was struck very hard. Look at the good hands she has to play that shot.
Well, third time lucky it is for Martina Hingis. You look at Lindsay, she's a set 2-1 with a break. We'll be back. Welcome back. Martina Hingis has been turning records upside down all through her young career. As we've been saying, who would have believed that in a match where we thought Martina, as Joe was saying before the break, she'd struggle to hang on to a serve. She's not had to save a break point yet. She's had break points in 4 of Lindsay's service games and broken twice. And she served 2 love service games herself, including the last one.
Well, there you are. I mean, you never know what will happen out here on the tennis court, but have to admire Martina Hingis for working things out. But let's see if she can hold this again.
15. Looking at Lindsay after the error again, doesn't make me feel it's going to improve. Do you know what I mean by that, Joe? There's no shadow swings. It was another look to Robert van Hoff, who's probably trying to keep the fists clenched and motivate her.
Yeah, exactly. She seems a little bit flat today. She really needs to sort of gee herself up somehow. Yeah, Lindsay doesn't get that excited on the court, even when she's winning, but she does slap her thigh occasionally and the occasional come on, and she's had none of that today.
As a result, the errors keep coming. Still no shadow swings or rehearsals of making it better. One thing's for sure, Martina is growing in stature by the second. You can just feel it rising in her, that she's tightening the screw with every passing minute. And there's none better than that than Martina Hingis. She's such an lady, Lindsay Davenport, you almost get the feeling that she's thinking, oh, well, it's not my day. I've beaten her 4 times. Let her have it.
Ooh, careful, Chris. She's a great champion, Lindsay Davenport, and you don't get to where she's ranked in the world without having some ruthless streak.
I've got to eat another hat, are you?
Well, I'm not sure she'll turn it round today, because there isn't that kind of, I don't know, not eagerness, but you know, she's got to somehow get herself going.
None better than just to hit big.
Yeah, might be the answer. Go for even more. Try and get herself out of this kind of just hitting and missing.
That was a better choice, because she was on her back foot there, Lindsay, but she just rolled it back. She didn't look for the winner then. So the thinking cap is on, at least. And that'll help her. It'll stop the rot of 3 straight games lost. She's kept in touch. 3-2 for Hingis. Second set. The next 2 games are huge for this lady, as the unforced error count is. She's not got 1 break point against Martina Hingis on her serve afforded to her. And if Hingis plays another positive game here, it puts enormous pressure on Lindsay's next service game.
I really think so. This service game is going to be very interesting. See if Davenport comes up with anything different.
Serving a second break up 3-2 here in the second set. Well, if anything's going to break her back, that will.
Well, just about sums it up. And I know that a let cord is difficult, but she was there and really had enough time to make a play. Hit with a bit more venom. Certainly coming in after the shot.
Again, moving backwards, they're going for a big shot. The 2 don't go together. Just looking for the winner off the wrong ball too early.
Good serving from Hingis today.
Lindsay now looking at her coach after every point lost. Got half of it right. Is Lindsay going to hang on here? This is a huge game. Another super game from Martina. Love service game on this first service game this set, then a 15 and another 15 there. Just 2 points lost on serve in this set. Remarkable.
Well, it was a great serve, and really that set the point up. But I think it is remarkable that Lindsay Davenport's returns have been so poor today.
crowd aren't helping Lindsay by doing that. That ball clearly in.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, no doubt about it, and that's Hingis' favourite shot.
Just thinking of the scoreline, setting the break down. And it is proving to be a huge game.
Well, can't win them all, Martina. Your opponent does have something to say about it.
Carbon copy of the opening point. Well done, Lindsay Davenport. That took some doing. She's kept on hanging in. It's 4-3 for Hingis. Second set. A deep breath. 1 hour, 1 minute, the match duration thus far. Now the pendulum could swing. Lindsay's done well to hang on in. And the pressure turns now, perhaps to Martina Hingis. Still a break, 4-3, second set.
Well. Davenport looked more flying on those two balls. Good return.
First time she's had love 30 against the Hingis serve.
And telling herself to come on that time.
Incredible increase in the tempo from Lindsay Davenport and her first breakpoint chances.
Yeah, she really did up the tempo there. And much more positive with herself as well.
She had more chance to do something with it than that, and punished, and listen to the roar.
Yeah, she really did have a big gap there, didn't go for it, and it was punished, but what a great run from Davenport.
You never know whether that's a friendly smile or not with Martina. I sense not. But how tennis matches can turn so quickly. We talk about the pendulum. Lindsay's now got to hold onto the serve to keep it ticking her way.
But because Davenport's up the pace, Hingis has upped the pace as well. She's not coming off the balls and giving the sort of top spinny shots. But she moved Davenport well around the court that time.
Movement's back as well, isn't it? There's a second wind almost.
Maybe a burst of adrenaline, really feels as though she's back in with a chance. She's looking good. Suddenly, she looks like a different person out there.
Better choice from Lindsay, moving backwards there. That's the deep return again, just looking for the top spin loop. Three straight games for Lindsay Davenport. Her nose in front. The crowd adding their waves to the shifting tide. Join us again after the break to see if Lindsay Davenport can level the match. I know we're biased, Joe, but isn't tennis a great game?
It really is fantastic in the scoring system. I mean, however far you are down, there is still that chance of getting back. If you can fight and stay in, hang in, as Lindsay Davenport has done. I mean, she really looked out of it, but she was just hanging in enough. And look how much more positive she is with herself.
I really think Robert Van Hoff has earned his money in this match. The amount of times that Lindsay's looked across, and he's been nothing short of inspiration in his look, in his attitude. He's really helped her in this match.
Well, he's very calm. I mean, they have a really great relationship, the pair of them. It works well. I'm sure those unforced errors will be coming down now from Davenport.
First and second set splits, of course. So she maybe would have thought about serving for the match, but now she's got to serve to stay in the second set. 4-5.
She's making a lot more returns now, Lindsay. Hingis is rushing.
The snowball, isn't it? When it starts rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger. Desperation from Martina there. Triple set point for Davenport.
Yeah, too deep to play a drop shot like that on a hard court.
And he needs one. Fairly flying back to the chair. Come on, the crowd are saying. Mum Anne adding her applause. Her daughter has done the most remarkable turnaround job here. Charging back to the chair, the clenched fist for the last 3 games or so. She's totally turned this match on its head. This 18th meeting between these two great champions is down to a 1-set match. It's a decider in the desert. Who's it going to be?
Well, I definitely thought Davenport before the match started, and I thought Davenport in 2 sets, fairly comfortably. So I was eating my words to start with. But really, she looked down and out in this, set down, second set, down again, 4-2. And you just thought, how can she change this around? 'Cause her attitude wasn't good. She looked as though she didn't have the belief. But suddenly, she found some inspiration, and she's flowing and playing much better.
Significant stat there is the winners. In the first set, the unforced errors were huge, but the winners were very, very low, and that's where she swung the match around. There's no doubt about that.
But also, Hingis knew that Davenport was getting better, and in the last couple of games she really did rush herself, tried to go for winners, and she hadn't done that. Her game plan was perfect. She was pushing Davenport around the court but mixing it up with pace, and then suddenly she went for quick winners.
We hope you're enjoying this at home, because we are thoroughly enjoying this here. It's so tough to predict which way it's going to go. By the pendulum swing, Davenport, you think, has now got the edge, but who knows? So Lindsay Davenport will serve the first game of this, the final set of the Newsweek Champions Cup.
Well, this is going to be an intriguing final set if both of them are going to be playing at this level. And there you go, that's what Hingis was doing in the first set and most of the second. Just taking the pace off the ball, hitting it with topspin, and it bounces higher. And those were the ones that Lindsay was having a problem with.
It's his turn to question the court. More than many friends.
Well, it's a shame she's getting booed. I actually thought it was wide, but you know, what a tough call when the serve's going so fast.
Just to prove the point, going for the same ace, but hitting it inside the line this time. She's got a lot to play against here, Martina Hingis. Lindsay Davenport in great form now, plus the crowd.
Yeah, serving 3 aces in that game, which she hasn't done all match. She served a couple, but she hasn't served an ace for a while. I wonder if she'll step up the pressure again in this Hingis service game.
Loopy topspin forehand really has done the trick for Martina. And the left court's going her way as well.
Strange one to go for a winner. Really wasn't in the right place for that one, Martina.
Played that within herself that time, didn't she, Lindsay? She knew she had Martina on the run. Mum Melanie there, a little anxious as she sees her daughter facing another break point against her serve.
Yeah, and the racket goes after this point. Hingis really upset with herself for giving the short ball.
Five straight games now. 6 straight games even for Lindsay Davenport. Martina Hingis again, not doing herself any favours.
No, the crowd are being pretty rough on her though. I mean, this has been a really great game of tennis. I know it's a good atmosphere, but you know, frustration showing, and I'm not surprised because she's played this match so well, Martina, but Lindsay somehow finding inspiration.
I think it goes to show, Joe, as well, the damage that was done at Roland Garros last year. People don't forget.
No, you're quite right, and your reputation precedes you.
It was the first real time there was a blip, but it was in a pretty major way, on a pretty major stage, and that's in itself maybe a little unfair. It's an extraordinary young lady, but it's there forever. All of those were going the opposite way in the early stages of this match. It's role reversal.
I'm sure Hingis is relieved that that shot was missed. Again, it was a shorter ball, and Davenport is now getting onto every single one of them.
One of the best shots in the match for me from Lindsay.
Yeah, she kept in the rally well. I think she hit both the sidelines in this point.
Thank you.
Wow, what a save. 12th ace. 7 straight games, Lindsay Davenport, 3-love, final set. Welcome back to a real buzz of excitement. Lindsay Davenport, she's played many great matches in her career, but to turn this one around from a set 4-2 down and looking completely out of it, physically and mentally, is remarkable.
Well, it is, but you know, we've seen so many matches that this happens. Somebody finds inspiration from somewhere, whether it's looking at the coach or looking within themselves. You know, the opponent can get a bit tight and think, you know, are they going to start playing better? How do I finish this match? I mean, lots of things mentally can happen. But I'm just pleased that it's been a great match out here and really good tennis.
Love 3, final set.
There are not many serve and volley points being played by Hingis. So she's trying to change it up a bit, do something different. What frustration we can see there in Hingis. I mean, playing a shot that she usually makes pretty easily. And this is now where I question Hingis. How hard is she prepared to work to win this match? Because she's going to have to do a lot of running.
Especially if she goes a double breakdown. It's a great point, but you just felt that Martina there was playing to her extreme limit.
And she upped the pace and played for the lines.
Oh, that backhand, I don't know how it clawed its way over the net. It was a little bit mishit from Lindsay, but Robert there, absolutely, that's as excited as he gets sitting in the stadiums. But look at that scoreline. 8 straight games from a set and 4-2 down, 4-love final set.
Yeah, it really was an incredible shot. It was so low to be able to get it up and over the net and hit such an angle on it. Well, now, unless Lindsay Davenport gets carried away with confidence, you can really only see one winner. How things have turned round.
Good move from Lindsay just to get straight back on with the second serve. Don't dwell on it. Unrewarded. It's not to let anything disturb this roll. Well, Lindsay can't believe that one. Just gets on with it again, though. Heart's gone, isn't it?
I think so. She now, wants to win quickly. She wants to hit winners. She's very frustrated.
It was a resigned look there, turning around, wasn't it, to face her American opponent. Hardly surprising, the sort of tennis that Lindsay Davenport has conjured up from nowhere. 5-love, 1 game away from a 28th title. And then Forster's over the 3 sets, and as you predicted, Joe, at the end of the second set, you said Davenport's and Forster's will drop. Well, that's an alarming drop.
That's an amazing drop.
And the winners have gone up, of course. If Martina comes back from this, I'll be astonished. Nine straight games against her, and love 5, final set with new balls serving to stay in this final.
She must want to win a game, in this set. And that's really going in on a prayer now. Nothing on that ball at all, in trouble, and quite right to be passed.
Triple match point for the number 2 seed. Well, maybe that typifies the comeback. Martina Hingis, spirit and mind totally broken. A double fault on match point. 10 straight games for Lindsay Davenport. The 5th win in a row against the world's number 1, and a thoroughly deserved 28th title.
Well, absolutely incredible stuff. You know, set 40 down and not to lose another game. To turn it around so radically. You don't often see that in tennis. Not a 6-love set against Martina Hingis, who's ranked 1 in the world.
And again, that argument will now go straight back into the headlines. Is she really the number 1 in the world? Lindsay Davenport, for sure, at the moment, is playing like the number 1 player in the world and has the mental stamina to be the number 1 tennis player in the world. 43 winners, and they came in enormously quick time because there were so few from Lindsay Davenport for what must have been virtually a set and a half.
Yeah, very definitely. For a long time, the winners were hardly any. Unforced errors were right up there. And how she turned it around. I mean, I'd really be interested to hear what she says afterwards. What made the change out there? Because, before the match, I thought Davenport was going to win comfortably 2 sets. And, I couldn't believe the start because she didn't start well, Davenport, but Hingis did. She had a great game plan. She went through with it. She worked hard. But then as it slipped away, Hingis had no answer.
Martina Hingis in shock. That is a pretty forlorn figure compared to that of Lindsay Davenport. Applauding the crowd as well she might, Lindsay Davenport. This is what the camp thought of it. Mum a little bit slow out the chair, and there on the right, Robert Van Hoff, always the last. Such a gentleman to the end, and been an enormous inspiration to Lindsay Davenport, and how well she has served him too. And just going back to the number 1 spot, Joe, they came into this tournament, 373 points separated them. The winner here gets 260 points, the runner-up 182, so I make that the deficit has been reduced still to 295, the difference, which is more than the points for winning this entire tournament. But look at that face there, the damage that Davenport has done today on top of the last 4 wins against her must be enormous.
Yeah, huge. You can just see it written in her face. But talking about the points, also they get points. Davenport will get 100 points for beating Martina Hingis also on top of that, which is sort of bonus points. So the gap is closing.
And just a quick trailer of our next tennis, the 26th of March, live, 2000 hours Central European time, 7 o'clock in the UK, the Samex WTA Tour stop of Key Biscayne. Maybe this intense rivalry will continue. we really looked forward to this match between Hingis and Davenport after Australia. Well, my mouth's already watering thinking of the prospect of seeing them play each other again, because what has this 19-year-old got to do to get a win against Lindsay Davenport?
But she must surely take confidence from the first set and a half, the way things were going. She was serving well. I mean, she didn't have a break point against her on her serve until almost the end of the second set. So, and we all thought that it was the Hingis serve that was going to be the weaker of the two. But as it turned out at the beginning, it wasn't. She served very well. She changed up the way she was serving, got a lot of first serves in. And so therefore she thought about that and she executed it well. But it was just, you know, I do question when the tide turns against Martina, and you can see how much of a fight is she going to put up against these big hitters. And I think she really has to look inside herself and question herself carefully.
These were very interesting points. And maybe the dedication that Lindsay Davenport showed a few years ago in getting a bit at least and weight off and getting super fit. She worked as hard as anybody's ever worked in those departments, and maybe that went through her mind as well when she was out of it. But there's no way am I going to put that sort of time, effort and commitment in and just give up tamely.
But also what you said, Chris, was that she looked heavy movement-wise, Lindsay Davenport, at the start of the match and even into the second set. So also, what was the change there? How did she make herself move better and flow better?
Charlie Passerelle, the tournament director. Let's listen to what he has to say.
An unbelievable, dazzling display of tennis and athleticism. Finish the first women's tournament here at this stadium. Congratulations to the two of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to introduce a number of people that are here on court with me today that have been instrumental in the success of this event and in making all of this happen. First, my extreme left here, my partner Ray Moore.
Pretty tough, having been beaten, to stand courtside with all these proceedings going on, because she just wants to shake hands and just get away to regroup and rethink. Part of the game, though.
I was going to say, it's part of winning and losing, isn't it? You know, you've got to take the loss, and you just got to stand there and take it.
Lindsay's quite happy to stay out there till tomorrow morning. Still got a match to play, though. In the doubles final, her partner Karina Murariu, they will play Anna Kournikova and Natasha Zareva.
ISL Worldwide, Mr. Heinz Schuttenberg.
What a great player Charlie Passerelle was.
And a gentleman, I played mixed with him at the US Open Oldies event. We had a lot of fun out there.
Conjures up so many memories, doesn't it? These names, Passerelle, Gonzalez, Reeson, all of those players. I'm sure many viewers watching would have seen Charlie Passerelle play many great matches with his bandy leg style. It's a great effect.
But he's put so much time and effort into this tournament to get this new site built and everybody to move here, and you can see with the crowds that have flocked in to see this final, and it's a lovely venue. I mean, really look after the players so well.
Really deserves it, and the people who made it possible. Charlie and Ray.
Of course, women's tennis wouldn't be anywhere without the sponsors.
We are every bit as proud as Charlie to have participated in tennis in the desert for nearly a decade and a half. And it is my great pleasure on behalf of Newsweek and its 20 million readers around the world to recognize two great stars of women's tennis. First, let me bring Martina Hingis.
You always like the drama here in the States. But it was a great match, and these two ladies are great champions. Martina Hingis receives her runners-up trophy with a small matter of 160,000 American dollars.
And a hard-fought three-set match. The winner and first champion in this new mecca for tennis in the desert, Lindsay Davenport.
Very popular figure worldwide, as Joe says, none more so than in our home state of California. 330,000 Australian dollars to add to the 717,000 at the Australian Open. I'm sure he will ask Lindsay to say a few words, and it'll be very interesting to hear what she says about the performance and the match. Come on, Lindsay, say a few words.
First of all, I'd like to thank Charlie and everyone who's responsible for building not only this court, this amazing site. I was a little sad last year to see the old site go, but this is truly remarkable this year, and I can't wait to come back here every year. This is great. To Newsweek for all the years that they've been involved with this event and all their sponsorship, for Sandix for sponsoring this tour. And for all the crowd who's been absolutely great. I've considered this kind of my home court since I'm from about 2 hours away, and you guys have supported me so great, and all my friends from Newport and the Palisades Tennis Club and everyone else. And to my family, this is one of the few stops in the year that they're able to come watch me play. My dad that's here that probably hasn't seen me play in a number of years. My sister and 2 brother-in-laws and my very cute niece who've given me a lot of joy. Of course, my mom, who's been an amazing friend of mine for many years. And lastly, to my coach, who before the match told me if things weren't looking good, to keep my head up and keep trying. And I'm glad he said that. Thank you.
That's interesting. And she probably remembered just that at a set and 4-2 down.
That was very well said from Lindsay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for coming out today to our Tennis Masters Series Meeting Wells. We have another match coming up here on the Stadium Court.
That's to announce the semi-final that's coming up later. But another great week of ladies tennis from the WTA Sandix Tour with Eurosport. We hope you've really enjoyed the tournament. You must have enjoyed the final. Another cloudless day. It's been the most amazing week. What a contrast to Scottsdale last week. And this match has been played. Lindsay Davenport, her 28th title of her career, one ahead of Martina Hingis on the title stakes.